Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatimah Zuhra. Our group will present about 3 newspaper companies, which are the Strait Times, the Stars, and the Sun. And I will explain about the core business of this company and the owner, and also company's ranking in terms of their sales, their advertisement and marketing, and also their profitability. So, let's begin. The newspaper scene in Malaysia is growing rapidly due to increase in demand and the need dissemination of information. It would be hard for many to imagine living without newspaper, as newspaper play a vital role in their life by educating them and also keeping them on track with all the current local as well as global news, ranging from politics to economy to sport. Every country, as a result of that, tries to produce top-quality newspaper for the benefit of the public. In Malaysia, there are 3 newspapers called highest quality, which fool the nation readers. The 3 papers are namely the Stars and Strait Times and also the Sun, all of which face fierce competition to sell the papers from one another. The core business of these 3 companies is publish newspaper in Malaysia, and they have evolved as they have added new types of media activities and expanded their ownership, which is engaged in the publication, printing, and distribution of newspaper, magazine, and also the website. The New Strait Times Press Berhad is the first print media company, the oldest publisher newspaper in Malaysia that has gone through several transformations, most significantly from a broadsheet and then converted to tabloid size to stem decreasing circulation. This company is owned and operated as a subsidiary of Media Prima Berhad. The second company, namely Star Media Group Berhad, is also a Malaysian media company. The company's largest operating segment is in print and digital brands such as Stars and Stars Online, which are among Malaysia's leading English language daily newspaper and news website. This company is owned by Star Publication Berhad. The third one is The Sun. The Sun is Malaysia's first national free daily newspaper in tabloid form. The Sun relies mainly on advertising as their revenue. It has the highest circulation at almost 400,000 daily in the English language daily segment, available from Monday to Friday, except on public holiday. The target for this newspaper is an audience of white-collar worker and urban youth. It is owned by the subsidiary of Berjaya Media Berhad. The 3 companies above that have been explained are included as stakeholders company. So, next is how we would rank the companies based on their sales, their marketing and advertising, and also their profitability. In terms of their sales, the Star would be in the first rank with the highest copies, then followed by the New Strait Times and the Sun. It is based from the audit report by Audit Bureau of Circulation that shows the Stars has the largest market share compared to the other English newspaper in Malaysia. To look for the marketing and advertising rank from the 3 companies, it refers to marketing strategy that they implement and the advertising revenue. The approach they take is more or less the same, but for each company, they apply a different strategy. The Star Online publication apply the EIM card system, which is premium digital solution that connect advertiser with audience who matter the most. On the other hand, The Sun already provided free newspaper and got revenue from advertisement, but this company revenue in this financial year 2018 is still decreasing compared to the revenue in the previous financial year. This decreasing in revenue shown that the lower advertisement demand from advertisers and weak market sentiment. In the New Strait Times, they offer a few programs, such as English Development Program. This program is one of the way they help the young Malaysian toward a holistic education. Also, this company won 12 major awards at the Marketing Excellence Award, which is shown that their marketing indeed good. And this company has a strong track record in social media and online marketing through an established portfolio of well-known online consumer brands. So, in terms of marketing and advertising, the top rank in the hands of the New Strait Times. In terms of their profitability, in recent years, based on their annual report, we can conclude that the Star publication Berhad is in top rank. They have profit after tax is 77.6 million, while Media Prima Berhad and Berjaya Berhad encounter loss after tax, which is where it states that the profit they get is still a loss.
Hi, my name is Farhan and I'm about to elaborate more on the production cost within the three companies. Input can be divided into two categories, fixed input and variable input. Fixed input is all the input that is essential for the production and does not vary with the scale of the production. On the contrary, variable input is directly associated with the scale of the production. In the context of media industry, generally, fixed costs will be higher compared to the variable costs. Publishing news has high fixed costs for its printing works. For example, this industry will need a space for its machine and staffs as well as any other costs associated with printing work. This type of industry will also need to have a proper data server for its online publication. These items are considered as fixed input as the cost does not vary with the scale of the production, where the costs remain at the same level. However, the variable inputs such as paper, ink, and the energy supply will vary if the production is increased or decreased. The media will also have to pay authors for the publication of the write-ups or any article, should there are any. You can see from the table for the list of input and variables under fixed input and variable input within this particular industry. For your information, in a short, we're going to cover on the main aspect of the three companies' business. First of all, in any industry, the phrase "there will be no such thing as a free lunch" applies. In other words, any business is never totally free in terms of expenses, which in this case is production costs. And this production cost is an important strategic variable among any other principal variables. In the production process, input will be transformed into output. In other words, raw material will be processed accordingly into finished product. This process certainly incurs costs for the company in producing their goods. For the production in this particular media sector, this means that materials such as information, paper, and ink will be transformed into products such as newspaper. You can see the input variables needed in this particular sector on the table.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Iylia Amira. Now, I will present about the business strategies and some of the differences between the Star, the Sun, and New Strait Times.
Okay, so now let's proceed to the business strategies. The Star, the Sun, and New Strait Times have different types of business strategies in order to increase their company's performance. One of the Star's business strategy is they practices sustainable environment in their company. They sourcing their newsprint from sustainably managed forests and from environmentally responsible mills. Besides, the Star upholding good marketplace practices. The company strictly prohibits any of its employees from bribery, corruption, and any unethical behavior. The next one is the Sun. The first strategy that have been implemented by the Sun is encouraging a healthy work environment in their company. The Sun's company organized some health talks for emphasizing their employees' well-being. These talks were organized in collaboration with Taman Desa Medical Center and the Qualitas Medical Group, which are on Sun Media's panel of hospital or clinics. Next, the Sun also developed a corporate strategy to promote sustainability. The company wants to promote sustainability strategies in the environment, social, and governance aspect as part of its broader responsibility to all its various stakeholders and the communities in which it operates. The last one is New Straits Times. New Straits Times developed a transformation strategy which their organization, their business operations, and development of the digital-first mindset among their workforce. Now, let's move to the next part. What is the differences between the Star, the Sun, and New Straits Times? The three newspapers have made a collaboration with other entities, especially with different television media for school students. The new Straits Times has been collaborated with Ministry of Education to organize contests at TV3, which is spelled it right. The program is set to reach more primary and secondary school students to improve their English level. Besides, The Star has been collaborated with Astro to produce semi-English sitcom, namely Oh My English at Astro Ceria. The program purpose is to increase English knowledge and make students to become more interested in learning English with an attractive sitcom Oh My English. Lastly is The Sun. The Sun have not collaborated with any television media like The Star and New Strait Time. Besides, the three newspapers have their own digital version of newspaper. As you can see in this picture, there are some difference in the Sun Daily Online. The Star and New Strait Time have their own property part, but the Sun does not have any property part in their online newspaper. The Star have starproperty.my and collaborate with PropWall, iBilik and Star Search Property, which consumer can direct link and search about any new house or house rental. Furthermore, New Straits Times have property part in their online newspaper, which will make consumer easy to find information about any property news.
Hi, so in my part, I will discuss more on 4 types of business model that we can see in the Sun Daily, the Star and the New Straits Times. There are 4 types of business model that we can use to match up with these 3 companies, which is we have the perfect competitor, the oligopolies, the monopolies, and the monopolistic competitor. To begin with, these 4 types of business has different characteristics that distinguish themselves from each other. This unique characteristic shows how in business world there are complex ecosystem, but somehow they manage to survive and they create the equilibrium in that world. For instance, for the perfect competitor, we can see that the business in this type will produce homogeneous or identical product, and seller will have perfect information about the cost and profit of the transaction. Thus, it eliminates the transaction cost of any transaction between the buyer and sellers. It also provides a free entry and exit into the market. But based on these 3 companies that revolve in newspaper industry, it is hard for anybody to enter into that market. Based on the characteristic outline, we can say that these 3 companies is not the perfect competitor. Let's move to the monopolies. What about the monopolies? We know that a monopolist characteristic, it revolves only with one company in the market, which have a perfect control. As its name describes itself, it's already eliminated the probability of this company as a monopolist in newspaper industry. To be a monopolist, it must have a market structure in which only a single firm serves an entire market, and it has no close substitute. As we are aware, there are many substitutes products that can be used to substitute with the newspaper, the physical newspaper I mean. A monopolist also has a greater power, but does not have unlimited power as customer as their main uncontrollable variable. However, a monopolist is very good in utilizing both economies of scale and economies of scope in order to become dominant in the market, thus slowly eliminating their competitor. For oligopolies, it is easily to be identified by rare characteristics such as only few firms that revolve in oligopolies environment, but large relative to the market. Typically, number of firms consists of 2 until 10. Product of firm can be identical or different from each business. This type of business is the most difficult to manage, as the decision of one of them will impact on another firm decision. You can relate it to the Star, to the Sun, and to the New Straits Times. It shows that these 3 companies is not an oligopolist company. Last but not least, it takes those companies to the last variety of business, which is the monopolistic competitor. The main characteristic in this business is they have many buyer and seller in the same industry. It is best to be clear that newspaper industry in Malaysia is large, where beside these 3 companies, there are also other companies that share the same market, as what is presented in Exhibit A. Each firm in this industry produce slightly different product but still revolve with information sharing businesses. There are also free entry and exit from this industry. The product of each firm also is close in resemblance, but does not perfect, thus providing competitive advantage to other businesses to produce slightly different product that also can act as substitute product. In order to survive in this kind of business, each firm will come with differentiation strategy to convince customer that their newspaper is better than other. This strategy involves two methods, such as comparative strategy and niche marketing. Based on the characteristic outline, it shows that these three companies meet the criteria as a monopolistic competitor. So, what does each company do well? In this case, we can see that the Sun Daily is very good in providing free information to the customer, and they didn't charge any ringgit or any cent to their customer. But how did they survive in this kind of environment where everything is revolved with money? They have a very interesting business model, which their main business model is revolved with advertising. So their customer is actually not the reader, but to any company who seek ways to advertise their product and services. The Star proven to be different by its business model, where all information has its own price, and the Star business does not stop at only selling newspaper. This newspaper company also ventured in other media type, such as radio and magazine. By increasing its market share, the Star slowly climbing to the top spot of most circulated newspaper in Malaysia. Same goes to the NST, when information is straight with ringgit. Though having the same business model, the NST managed to differentiate its business by providing more liberal and straightforward news to its audience. Though facing some tough challenge along the way in doing business, NST remained competitive and relevant in current market. There are many success stories of these three companies, but they also have some bad reputation and some bad story that revolve with them. So we would like to understand what each company do not well. For the Sun Daily, we can see that this company currently facing some tough challenge when all information can be treated free. The Sun Daily facing a slightly drop in physical business when current trend and fast changing pace of technologies has made information easily achieved and received via mobile device or other alternative source. Though changing its strategy might give them some competitive advantage, but it proved to be futile in the long run when the barrier to entry into the market now has become low, and so people can go inside it and deliver the same services the Sun has done before. For the Star and NST, a bigger challenge that these two companies will face as long as they continue operating, that is the proper way to face political agenda that remain uncertainty in Malaysia. It is clear as crystal clear that both companies is controlled by a political parties. So as long as they continue operating, they need to meet what the current government wants and need. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Shakira Samah and I'll be explaining about the recommendations for future improvements.
Based on the research done on all three companies, it was found that each and everyone had their own strengths and advantages. However, just as major companies like Apple and Samsung do, there will always be areas for development that continue to exist. Being the CEO of The Sun, I would recommend a few changes that could be implemented in order to boost up revenues and the stock value overall. Firstly, The Sun should partner up with more local companies for both advertising and marketing purposes. Taking this step will not only enable them to charge advertisement fees, but also increase web traffic of people who visit their website, since they are killing two birds with one stone. For example, they could partner up with MyEG, an e-government solutions website that provides e-services such as license and road tax renewal and summon payments online. Comparing The Sun, The Star, and also New Straits Times, The Star seems to be the company leading in doing so, as there are more than 10 links that will bring users to websites such as PropWall, iBilik, Car Sifu, and even Dim Sum, which is a website for watching movies and television series online. Besides that, The Sun should offer vouchers or contests that will excite and encourage people to want to be on the website more. There should also be more sections included in the website, such as on fashion and property. Strait is to be the first newspaper company to move to a fully digital platform in the near future. This is since they are already starting to approach towards that direction now with a NST application and an e-newspaper that can be subscribed. Being the oldest publisher but the fastest one that went through significant transformations over the years, this would be something possible and promising for the New Straits Times. Not only that, while planning and actually transforming to a fully digital platform, the New Straits Times should also be in partnership with other companies that could advertise on their website and expand their connection and brand in general. Furthermore, they should also provide additional sections for job postings and also for property listings that readers could go through and spend more time on the website. Lastly, as the CEO of The Star, I would first expand on the social media platforms to YouTube and Instagram rather than just being on Facebook and Twitter. This is since Instagram is found to be one of the mostly used social media applications today. More users and readers will be aware of the Star's presence and will most likely start reading their newspaper either through the website or the actual paper. Besides that, physically, the Star has the thickest set of newspaper compared to the Sun and New Straits Times. This could be reduced to a thinner set by expanding the size of the page more, therefore printing on less paper pages than the current one. I would also rearrange the website to be less crowded looking and more user-friendly in order to avoid readers to be overwhelmed by the things that they see and read in just one glance. In terms of boosting the company's sales, the Star should partner up with local universities or hospitals in giving them discounts in exchange for long, loyal subscriptions of the paper. Overall, for all three companies, I would recommend to plan and initiate a fully digitalized newspaper experience in the near future. Not only it saves a lot of costs such as on paper, ink, printing machine, and energy supply in general, it will help save the environment too. It was found that 1 ton of paper consumes 12 full-grown trees. Therefore, imagine the amount of trees that could be saved when all newspaper companies move towards this direction in the near future. The digital world is not something foreign, we are already in it. Most millennials get their world update and content from the tips of their fingertips whenever and wherever they go. They could not wait for the daily paper like people used to do. Newspaper companies should offer a very unique and different digital product for all and lure with free content maybe for the first month's subscription and then charge a small but reasonable fee to continue accessing the digital newspaper.